traffic nightmare. The collapsed overpass was part of a $212 million reconstruction project that just finished 4 years ago. Today, Governor Josh Shapiro plans to make a disaster declaration to speed up funds for a rebuilding effort he warns could take months. For CBS Mornings, I'm Chris Van Cleve. Driving through an inferno. Early Sunday morning, a gasoline tanker crashed under an I-95 overpass in Philadelphia, sparking a fire so hot it brought part of the freeway crashing down. Sparking a fire so hot it brought part of the freeway crashing down.
This is wild.
Pennsylvania's governor says it appears at least one vehicle is still in the rubble.
We're still working to identify any individual or individuals who may have been caught in the fire and the collapse.
We also want to note that you can use a credit card to pay your fare on board, and your conductor will help you with that. Credit card to pay your fare on board.
ER nurse Lisa Taormino says she could feel the overpass begin to slump as she drove over it on her way to work.
That was like a sinkhole. It felt like if you were driving and you hit a really big pothole and the whole entire road just sunk down probably a good 6 to 12 inches. And I was hoping that the car would come back up the other side.
Once she learned of the collapse, she says she was grateful to be safe but frustrated with the response.
It probably should have been closed before I ever went over top of it.
Officials did not say how long the closure could last, but urged motorists to plan alternative travel routes.
Crazy. So the snake is trying to come under the threshold and I step on it and it crushes the head of the snake. I was just like, that's insane. Well, today I was talking to Corey and Zach about just all this stuff going on, where the world's going. You can see that the end of the world's here. Everybody, it should be the most obvious thing in the world.
So when you saw it, so what you're saying, you can't make this stuff up that you were. So stick around, Robin. We're going to bring everybody in here after. I just want to give everybody a shot here.
These are recent tornadoes as a result of man-caused global warming. There was a hurricane, there was a T's Henry hurricane. Grace was following with it. Text message, maybe you should buy a farm close by. 9 months later.
Before the economy collapses, was my advice to my boss, Dave, to buy a farm close by before the economy collapses. That way you're self-sufficient.
Another Wawa is shutting its doors in Philadelphia, this time in Head House Square. And Shawnette, it comes amid warnings about an increase in crime around that area.
June 16th.
Yeah, that's right, Don. We're talking carjackings and other incidents have been reported near an ATM that's just
June
a few doors
18th.
away from this Wawa that is soon to be closed. And take a look here across from me. You can see police are here in Head House Square, and also we've seen them along South Street tonight. Residents say that's a good thing, but still some problems persist. It's really Square location on July 16th. In a statement, Wawa said it, quote, constantly conducts careful and extensive evaluations of business performance and operational challenges of all stores on an ongoing basis. Residents believe the closures may be due to crime and excessive panhandling.
A lot of the home, like that, but it's not that. It's like the kids on the bikes and like the late night people.
Dana Sakharov lives a few doors away from Wawa and says there are all sorts of problems.
They come in there and they steal stuff. They even hired a security guard.
I contacted Philly PD about the recent incidents in the area.
So the security guard can't do his job, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they say Wednesday's incident involved a 35-year-old DoorDash driver who says he was carjacked of his Toyota at gunpoint.
Well, that's what he said. I mean, again, scorpions rising up from the pit. You're going to hear a bunch of things that are tales from the scorpion sting. When you know better, when it tries to sting you, it's like, come on, man, get out of here.
Point by a group of people in another car.
You can just ask him walking up, he'll tell you.
That cut him off.
Yeah, DoorDashers. Well, you know what, DoorDashers, if you get cut off, you guys dash at our doors a lot as if you're going to smash into us.
And police say the incident yesterday after midnight involved a 50-year-old man in a Lexus who was carjacked at gunpoint by a suspect who got out of another car.
Right. So, again, this is in Philadelphia where the closure of I-95 in order to collapse the economy.
I think they're not taking care of this district. It's out of control and they don't care anymore. It's out of control and they don't care anymore.
And other Wawas that have closed, the location at Broad and Walnut, also 12th and Market, 19th and Market. And Dawn, a reminder, residents also pointed out to me that the Wawa at 9th and South, not too far from here, is closed.
Yeah, it's such a shame. All right, Shawnette, thank you.
Slayer Galati is back. Rita. Slayer Galati. Smoke rising up. Collapsing when trucks are delivering their materials and truck drivers they base their living upon spending less gas and getting high highway miles. when they have to get off and it takes them 2 extra hours to get wherever they needed to go, and all that gas they're burning up by going stop, go, stop, go, stop, go, instead of going straight through, they're not going to go in the direction that's shut down, which is in Philadelphia. So, the moment I heard about the collapse, then the very next second I think, oh, well, that's going to collapse the economy in Philly with ease. That's why I say these things beforehand, because now we're at that time where I've said things before in the past. However, now, when it's manifesting and it's actually shutting down, then that's just the beginning of everything else shutting down to collapse dead center Philadelphia, the very first city, the Declaration of Independence, the first and the last time that it'll have to be settled. This time it'll be settled for good, but destruction cometh. That's the rising of the bottomless pit. In the bottom, it's like it's aiming at the ground to let you know who rose up. From the pit, and smoke arose from the pit, and scorpions came out and they stung you with the tails of their stings. You want to hear one? Here's one.
There are all sorts of problems.
They come in there and they steal stuff. They even hired a security guard.
I contacted Philly PD about the recent incidents in the area. They say Wednesday's incident involved a 35-year-old DoorDash driver who says he was carjacked of his Toyota at gunpoint by a group of people in another car that cut him off.
I mean, unreliable sources said something that we're just going to say as facts to give you another one of our tales. That way you can get stung because you believe what you're told that's going to continually happen in Philadelphia to make it look like it's the apocalypse is taking place, like Planet or like World War Z with Brad Pitt in Center City, Philadelphia. So the more and more of these tales that you're going to hear from Jacob Israel's birthday, 6/11/2023, when the bridge collapsed in Philly, as I was saying beforehand, if something happens that's like with Jacob Israel, that's like a devastating kind of a news. If something happens like that on his birthday, I typed in 5 months to 11/11 because Run Like Rocky is in Philadelphia, the art museum, 11/11. 5-month period of men being stung. Stinging is the tales, the stories, but also the scorpions that have actual physical tails that do hurt men. I'm sure it would hurt a man, that scorpion sting, because the heads of the tails do hurt from the scorpion's tail, that the head of it would hurt. But the scorpions that come out of the pit, the real ones, are God's elect because they have the truth, and the truth is going to start stinging men for the next 5 months. Especially if all types of events keep happening in Philadelphia. And then eventually it like the sign of Jonah. I thought at one point the sign of Jonah was just the fact that Jonah had everybody repent. But maybe it could be the sign of Jonah is one of them is like the sand of the seashore, a piece of glass on the sand, getting in the boat, getting out of the boat. The bridge collapse, the stomping of it, the collapse of it. In Philadelphia, it could have stopped anything that would destroy Philly. That could be one way of looking at it. But it could also be the beginning of many more to come, because now we're hearing about all these frightening stories, and all of a sudden all the WaWa's that I go to when I'm in Center City are going to close down. They're going to close down. So it's going to make it inconvenient for me again, just like 95. It's like I said, if I come against Antichrist, it's not like I don't expect them not to make my life a little bit more difficult. And boy, I'll tell you, 2 days later, I'm experiencing the most popular convenience store that I go to for years upon years is Wawa. The second one is 7-Eleven. So when the WaWa's shut down, let me just make a record of this now for the future, because it's almost easier to see it now and say it, even though I already said it, because once, I'm sure it's in the videos, I just have to find it. Once that bridge collapses, it's going to collapse the economy in Philly. And so today is June 18th, 10 days before my birthday on June 28th, on Jacob Israel's birthday. The most devastating thing that happened in Philadelphia since the beginning of Philadelphia is the bridge collapsed and burned up and is no longer allowing traffic to flow through it. When they target the banks with explosions because 30 tons of ammonium nitrate, I always forget the second name, very flammable material that can explode and blow stuff up, went missing a couple months ago. This bridge was on fire. Yeah, they showed you an image of a vehicle going around a turn and an explosion. But that's brought to you by the same company that produces Hollywood movies, the media. They can show you what they want to show you. You can't tell in Hollywood movies what's real or what ain't. So these things happen. I think I was just at that Wawa maybe 2 weeks ago. It's very convenient down at South Street, because I'll go and get a South Street slice of pizza that has the picture of the woman, the face of a man, hair like woman. And the owner's like this, with his like around 4th and South Street. Go there, then go to Wawa, get a drink. No more, Robin. No, Robin, you wanted to go to take I-95 to work because you got 15.5 miles per gallon instead of 13.5 now because you got to go down Broad Street. We're going to make you spend a little bit more, but just a little tiny bit at a time. You want to go to Wawa? Nope, not going to do it. Going to close it on you. All right.
And police say the incident yesterday after midnight involved a 50-year-old man in a Lexus who was carjacked at gunpoint by a suspect who got out of another car.
Yeah, so that's all the reasons why 15 WaWa's should shut down around Philadelphia area right after the bridge collapsed. That's going to collapse the economy. They're not going to tell you that we don't get our deliveries anymore because the vehicles don't want to come here. It's too much of a hassle. We spend too much money. We're going to go to Maryland instead, or we're going to stay going to New York. We're not heading to Philly. We're just going to go to New York. Stick with over there, and Maryland over there, Washington over there, and then Philly gets cut off. But everybody's coming to Philly. All nations are coming to it. Right there at the dead center. Gateway, Gennady, the place of the Eden, the Garden of Eden.
I think they're not taking care of this district. it's out of control and they don't care anymore.
Well, that's true for the Fox group that needs to leave.
And other WaWa's that have closed, the location at Broad and Walnut, also 12th and Market, 19th and Market. And Dawn, a reminder, residents also pointed out to me that the Wawa at 9th and South, not too far from here, is closed.
Yeah, it's such a
great.
shame. All right, Shauna.
Yeah, it's such a shame. I wonder what was the cause of that. Robin, do you have any idea? Do you think it might have something to do with the bridge collapse that was going to start to literally collapse the economy in Philly? You think that might have had anything to do with it? Considering you work right around the corner from it every day, and all of these WaWa's that they mentioned are the ones that I go to out of convenience when I take a lunch break down Center City.
Serious, guys. Good morning, everybody. Sorry. Are you serious? Are you serious, guys? Get a cup of coffee.
I-95. 6 days ago.
Calm down, Philadelphia. What in the world's going on?
The day it happened.
8 hours ago. Today is June 11th, 2023, which on record is Jacob Israel's 52nd birthday.
With this truck, semi-trailer explosion in Philadelphia, and the damage it's done to I-95 is insane. Let me put a shout out.
Let's not go to a shout out, but let's do go to. Here's where it was collapsed at. On the map, to line it up, it's the same. It's right here. You see the cross path here? So this is northbound going that way. And then southbound is this way towards Center City.
Completed an aerial view of the site and received a briefing from law enforcement, first responders, and transportation experts on the ground together with Mayor Kenny. As has been reported, the northbound side of I-95 has completely collapsed, and the southbound side is not structurally sound to carry any traffic over it. In response, PennDOT, the City of Philadelphia, and SEPTA, under leadership of Leslie Richards, who joins us today, have created detours and are working on further alternative methods to ensure folks can safely get to where they need to go. We're also to get traffic through the area. With regards to the complete rebuild of I-95 roadway, we expect that to take some number of months.
Tanker in Philadelphia, this explosion really is weird. I mean, first of all, what in the world caused this to explode like that? So
I'm not just talking to Satan, then I'm talking to you too.
11 days ago.
But I want you to know.
I'm driving along Cotman Ave, Route 73, exit 30, going northbound. When I just flipped this around, this is what I was showing you. The opposite direction.
To Jesus Christ, because if you remember, there's a sign right there at that explosion saying, "Are you ready for Jesus?"
The truth.
He did.
Rebuilding timeline expected today
It's
for
over.
I-95 in Philly. You preparing for Jesus? Truth, says the billboard next to the crash. Right where it exactly happened. That works. Minimum.
Mark, then I need to stand up and make sure that they don't devalue the trademark because of, their
It is the number of a man.
hatred toward Jonathan.
That number is 666. But
6.
only those people who
And it's very obvious. All you have to do is go of that back in the past, and those people have a right to me being it's called fiduciary duty. And so if someone is demeaning the trademark, and I need to stand up and make sure that they don't devalue the trademark because of their hatred toward Jonathan Kleck. And it's very obvious. All you have to do is go look at the channel I'm talking about. Just go look at every video. It's hatred. It's nothing but vitriol. The entire channel is about me and me alone. He has 3 channels. They're all about me, and it's all hatred. So God bless this person. And I'm not going to call him Gene Rebel because that's not his name. Anyway, we're going to talk. We're really not going to talk about any of that anymore. We're going to leave that, let it take care of itself now, because I've done the things I needed to do. In a trademark situation, if you don't have the person's address and you can't send them a letter yet, then what you do
to
is you
receive a
make
mark
public
on their right
declaration to
hands
cease and
or
desist
on their
from
foreheads,
infringing on the trademark.
so that they
That's
could
the
not
first
buy
thing.
or sell unless they
So
had
when
the
I
mark,
had to go
which
up against
is
Val
the name of the
and all
beast
those
or
other
the
guys in that
number of its
lawsuit,
name.
I had to send them a letter that says cease and desist. And
to receive a mark on their right hands or on their foreheads, so that they could not buy or sell unless they had the mark, which is the name of the beast or the number of its name. This calls for wisdom. Let the person who has insight calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man.
Something happens with Jacob Israel on his birthday, June 11th. So I'm already marking a 5-month period when I'm saying that on June 8th, 2023, I'm talking, saying if something happens with Jacob Israel's birthday, that's the start of a 5-month period. And in 5 months, there's going to be scorpion stingers coming out stinging men. But if you know the truth, their stings can't even sting you.
Good afternoon. I'm Governor Josh Shapiro, and this morning, according to first responders,
2 hours ago, June 11th.
Good afternoon. I'm Governor Josh Shapiro, and this morning, according to first responders here in Philadelphia and the Pennsylvania State Police, at approximately 6:20 a.m., a vehicle fire underneath I-95 behind me here caused a portion of the highway above to collapse.
95 right now. Good drive here and see that person. Well, you definitely know them. So everything seems real.
It sounds insane to even think that it isn't real.
At least one vehicle is still trapped underneath the collapsed roadway. Preliminary reports indicate that a commercial truck carrying a petroleum-based product was the source of the fire. We're still
95. So let's examine this for 1 second. So I like to talk about things after it happened. So June 12th, 2023 was the day after the collapse of the I-95. So I'm going to say what I think is going to happen next.
It's time right now, because here, these are little signs that America is going down. And I just happen to live right in the heart of the action that's going to be taking place.
And police say the incident yesterday after midnight involved a 50-year-old man in a Lexus who was carjacked at gunpoint by a suspect who got out of another car.
I think
4 days ago.
They're not taking care of this district. It's out of control and they don't care anymore.
And other WaWa's that have closed, the location at Broad and Walnut, also 12th and Market, 19th and Market. And Dawn, a reminder, residents also pointed out to me that the Wawa at 9th and South, not too far from here, is closed.
Yeah, it's such a shame. All right, such a shame. All right.
These are little signs that America is going down. And I just happen to live right in the heart of the action that's going to be taking place in Philly. That's only the beginning of it.
Took these pictures approaching the flames.
2 cars ahead of me went through the fire.
Or
so
through
I
the
just
fire.
floored it and drove through.
Before the fire.
Drove across the smoke-filled overpass. He said he felt the road buckle underneath him.
I mean, I can't predict the future. I can only tell you how I feel about things. Strange coincidence, like usual, in my life, with the things that pertain to what I show, why I keep doing it.
What are the chances? I've never heard of it.
You don't expect me to
infringement on that trademark, but
it's not like who did it? Well, look, the people I watch did it. The people I show, they did it. Which ones? I don't know exactly which ones did it. If they're not all the same, But they all know who did it, and they all know who's going to do the next one. And they are the ones that want to hear my interpretation of it. Now, Philadelphia, a little bit of strength. You may think, now what's the big deal, Robin? It's just a part of the highway that's closed down. They're going to rebuild it. Yeah. Well, let's say they're just telling you that.
And other WaWa's that have closed, the location at Broad and Walnut, also 12th and Market, 19th and Market. And Don, a reminder, residents also pointed out to me that the Wawa at 9th and South, not too far from here, is closed.
Yeah, it's such a shame.
Considering that if you're coming from New York or up there where Jacob Israel lives, and you're trying to deliver goods down to Center City, Philadelphia, you're probably not going to want to go in that direction. It's going to be such a delay, and the more like these people are going to be delayed. You think this is bad right here?
The only reason I'm still going is because it's only a red portion up to there, and then.
But it's going to be an issue for the people that have zero patience. They're going to be stuck in traffic jams, and they're going to be beeping their horns. And there's probably going to be more violence and fights and road rage, and all the little streets right along I-95.
Comes amid warnings about an increase in crime around that area.
Yeah, that's right, Don.
Increasing crime in that area just one day ago.
We're talking carjackings and other incidents have been reported near an ATM that's just a few doors away from this Wawa that is assumed to be closed. And take a look here across from me. You can see police are here in Head House Square. And also, we've seen them along South Street tonight. Residents say that's a good thing, but still, some problems persist.
It's really shocking.
Howard Wool is talking about this warning some business owners say they received from the Society Hill Civic Association.
This is a nice neighborhood. They got nice people here, but I guess it can happen anywhere in the city.
The alert warns of 2 strong armed robberies in the last 2 days at this ATM at 2nd and Lombard. It also cites 2 alleged incidents on the 600 block of Addison Street Wednesday night at 11:30, and another on the 300 block of Pine Street at 12:10 a.m. yesterday.
This neighborhood is very exclusive houses.
Is that a pitchfork, devil?
And they rob them too. It's not good for business.
Rob them too? What? What'd you say about me? Hold on.
It's not good for business.
He's right. Big businesses are moving.
And they rob them too. 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 It's not good for business.
He's right. Big businesses are moving out. CVS at Head House Square is
Move
now
out,
vacant.
foxes.
And Wawa announced today that it's closing its Head House Square location on July 16th. In a statement, Wawa said it, quote, constantly conducts careful and extensive evaluations of business performance and operational challenges of all stores on an ongoing basis. Residents believe the closures may
There's
be...
probably going to be more violence and fights and road rage and all the little streets right along I-95. Even where my mom lives and my stepmom, Karen, there's going to be traffic nonstop. Even just because you got to consider people that, just regular people that normally travel I-95, even if they're just traveling through from one state to another, they're going to have to go in that detour.
...in another car that cut him off. And police say the incident yesterday after midnight involved a 50-year-old man in a Lexus who was carjacked at gunpoint by a suspect who got out of another car.
I think
people are going to start finding other jobs. Try to go somewhere else.
they're not taking care of this district. It's out of control and they don't care anymore.
And other WaWa's that have closed, the location at Broad and Walnut, also 12th and Market, 19th and Market. And Don, a reminder, residents also pointed out to me that the Wawa at 9th and South, not too far from here, is closed.
Yeah. The I-95 northbound was on fire, and it burned down and collapsed. The northbound, where it's the busiest intersection in Pennsylvania. And that's where that's how the trade comes to Philadelphia, through I-95. Through I-95. And considering that if you're coming from New York or up there where Jacob Israel lives, and you're trying to deliver goods down to Center City, Philadelphia, you're probably not going to want to go in that direction. It's going to be such a delay, and the more these people are going to be delayed. You think this is bad right here? If you're coming from New York or up there where Jacob Israel lives,
and you're trying to deliver goods down to Center City, Philadelphia, you're probably not going to want to
and
go
other
in that
WaWa's
direction.
that
It's
have
gonna be such a
closed the
delay.
location at Broad and Walnut, also 12th and Market, 19th and Market. And Don, a reminder, residents also pointed out to me that the Wawa at 9th and South, not too far from here, is closed.
I think people are going to start finding other jobs, try to go somewhere else. I just believe that Philadelphia is having a little bit of strength in the Bible. Well, this is the Philadelphia that they're talking about in the land itself. The angel of the church of Philadelphia having a little bit of strength, and then Philadelphia itself having a little bit of strength. Because that collapse is like a kick in the gut.
Why is that, Robin?
For the economy in Philly.
And other WaWa's that have closed the location at Broad and Walnut, also 12th and Market, 19th and Market.
That fast?
Don, a reminder, residents also pointed out to me that the Wawa at 9th and South, not too far from here, is closed.
That is amazing prophecy, Robin. Did you just say that one day after it happened, and then one day ago, June 16th, that we're starting to see what you just said manifest clearly, literally in Center City, Philadelphia, where it's the core. That way it trickle effects out into, because that's the center. That's why it's like the first city, and then it's going to be the last city that needs to go through this destruction, and then let's re-sign that Declaration of Independence in Philadelphia after 240, is that 7 years? 46 years? July 4th, 19th. It's around that. After 200 years, and then I was born to come into this world, and let's see if I can get my signature on that bad boy, because of the things that I can foresee happening, or even as it happens, break it down and explain why it happened if I didn't see it coming. But this is easily foreseen.
There's something like that is going to take at least 3 to 4 months. I just think Broad Street is next up on the list because it's wide and broad.
Watch this gang stalking move.
And it's also Philadelphia having a little bit of strength at some point. And John Clark said,
because they ran out to the car.
The bombings were printed on U.S. currency, and it already happened in New York. And New York and Sodom and Gomorrah. So God's not going to destroy. He said, I'm not going to destroy the earth with water anymore. Water.
He said fire, but Satan's going to destroy it with literal fire. God's going to destroy it with the word of God, which is fire.
In order to get back and forth to work, commerce, the economy in Philadelphia, I mean, it can even affect my job itself with my boss, where you're looking to get the supplies and things are going to be delayed, and at some point people they're going to get tired of being delayed, and they may just deny the job and go pick another one that doesn't have to go in that direction that's in Philly. Trucking companies may drop jobs that deliver to Philly, and then slowly but surely it's like things just aren't coming to Philly, and
Point by a suspect who got out of another car.
I think they're not taking care of this district. They don't care anymore.
And other WaWa's that have closed, the location at Broad and Walnut, also 12th and Market, 19th and Market. And Dawn, a reminder, residents also pointed out to me that the Wawa at 9th and South, not too far from here, is closed.
Yeah, it's such a shame. All right, Shawnette,
and
thank
then
you.
slowly but shortly, it's like things just aren't coming to Philly, and Philadelphia is supposed to have a little bit of strength and get you know, really the economy to collapse. And that's where I work. So what I'm...
Bam. It's starting 4 days later.
They just deny the job and go pick another one that doesn't have to go in that direction, that's in Philly. Trucking companies may drop jobs that deliver to Philly, and then slowly but shortly it's like things just aren't coming to Philly, and Philadelphia is supposed to have a little bit of strength and get you know, really the economy to collapse.
That have closed, the location at Broad and Walnut, also 12th and Market, 19th and Market. And Dawn, a reminder, residents also pointed out to me that the Wawa at 9th and South, not too far from here, is closed.
It's a shame. All right, Sean, such a shame.
It's not the London Bridge, but it's the Philadelphia Bridge that fell down because it connects the traffic. The southbound lane didn't collapse, but it's compromised where it's buckling. So either way, it's such an inconvenience for Philadelphia. And I get to report all of it live. I get to go through it and report it to the whole world as you watch Philadelphia collapse more and more. As I tell you beforehand, and here we are. Been saying it for 4 years,
Broad and Walnut,
you know,
also 12th and Market, 19th and Market. And Dawn, a reminder, residents also pointed out to me that the Wawa at 9th and South, not too far from here, is closed.
Yeah, it's such a shame. All right, Shawnette, thank you.
All right, folks, God bless you guys, and welcome to This Is It 4-3.
Hurt only those men that have not the seal of God in their foreheads. When you get stung by a scorpion, it's only when you believe the horse malarkey that you're hearing on your television screen or cell phone.
I get to go through it and report it to the whole world as you watch Philadelphia collapse more and more. As I tell you beforehand, and here we are. Been saying it for 4 years, but, you know, here we are.
Top stories 2 days ago. Wawa shuttering Head House Square store and latest Philadelphia closure. For the first time in the history of existence, all these Wawas are shutting down like left and right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Within 5 days after the 1 day that I'm talking about the economy, the purpose of it is collapsing it in the dead center of Philadelphia first, because Philadelphia is the target. So while I'm at it, what I'm foreseeing is further collapsing things further down to really keep it. First you start there, then you work your way out there a little bit, and then further out there. And then next thing you know,
in the future that they're going to be taken out as well. And at some point, blowing up the bridge, whatever that chemical is that explodes, they may try to hint that it has something to do with the terrorist attack, blowing up the bridge. Benjamin Franklin Parkway is the other bridge in Philly, Betsy Ross. I foresee in the future that they're going to be taken out as well. And at some point, Philadelphia is going to have no way of the economy surviving because it's going to, all traffic from Jersey will be taken away. And it's almost like the nightmare vision that I've seen for 7-8 years that I've wrote about being in Philadelphia happening.
Wednesday, June 14th. And then Thursday, I was going to start out with showing you how on Google Maps, it just looks like a city coming, a heavenly city coming down because it was turned upside down.
But don't worry, New Jerusalem comes down from heaven out of, like it literally comes down.
June 12th, 2023. June 14th, after the fact. It's like it's coming down out of heaven right there in the dead center of Logan Square a couple of days after I was talking about it driving home. Because I was giving my opinion the day after it happened.
It comes down from heaven out of, like it literally comes down.
Because the 12th was Monday. June 11th was Sunday. June 12th, Monday. And the picture Wednesday, June 14th is all this. And then the 15th, so Thursday, is all this from here to 15th. That's the first time I remember taking a screenshot. Of just, it randomly showed St. Peter and Paul Basilica upside down, like turning it upside down and then coming down out of heaven.
If Philadelphia is burnt to the ground, or it
doesn't sound, I mean, it sounds, because I said if it is, and I know how confirmation happens, like when I say we all been lied to and then the bridge collapses under my wheels 36 hours and 13 minutes later. And I point to the Home Depot hat, and that same actual night, the Home Depot was destroyed by Tornado Clec on Harrow Camping's World, October 21st, 2019. The beginning of it.
Earthquake City, or it's Terrorist Lane. Just know that New Jerusalem will come down out of heaven and land in the dead center of Philadelphia. Maybe even right there where the William Penn building is.
No, the dead center actually, the dead center is more like here. I think I even changed my mind. So now maybe Logan Square. I'm saying that beforehand, and there you go. Look at it. There it is. June 15th. 3 days after I'm talking about it coming down in the dead center of Philadelphia. I can't even make this stuff up. It's just what happens, and here's the record of what I seen, where it's almost like it was meant to be like that too, because the road continues through. See, like the same color. And then it even turns.
Do it again, so. So Benjamin Franklin Parkway, Benjamin Franklin, the $100 bill. It's all about collapsing the economy in Philly. So what better way for the terrorist for the script to be played out, that they start collapsing the bridges around us too. And they're going to cripple our economy here. And that's why I started fasting years ago, to try to get used to not eating as much, because I didn't want to be stuck dealing with that.
It's shutting its doors in Philadelphia, this time in Head House Square. And Shawnette, it comes. Another Wawa is shutting its doors in Philadelphia, this time in Head House Square. And Shawnette, it comes amid warnings about an increase in crime around that area.
Yeah.
All right. So first of all, operating Town Watch. The Red Devil with a pitchfork in his hand. That's our operating Town Watch in Philadelphia. So here comes many stings, because it's just going to keep happening and happening, and people are going to be frightened to death because they're believing a lie. They're going to get stung by the tail of the scorpion stinger, and they're going to wish to die for the things that are coming upon the earth, even though they're not going to believe that 11/11/2023 is a 5-month period from when the smoke rose up from the manhole pits when the bridge was collapsed on Jacob Israel's birthday at 6/11/2023. When I said if something devastating happens with Jacob Israel on his birthday, then I typed in a 5-month period and put that on record before it happened on his birthday, where the smoke rose up from the pit. And I saw a star image when you pause it in the middle of the street that came down from heaven, because it looked like a big ball of fire hitting. And then here comes the little bit of strength in Philadelphia. And then to the angel of the Church of Philadelphia, you're also going to have a little bit of strength, because it starts with the economy, and then it continues with the stings, the terroristic. Listen to these stories. Listen to them. You want to hear some? You want to hear some tales from the scorpions? Listen.
Been reported near an ATM that's just a few doors away from this Wawa that been reported near. And right, Don, yeah, that's right, Don. We're talking carjackings and other incidents been reported near an ATM that's just a few doors away from this Wawa that is soon to be closed. And take a look here across from me. You can see police are
She
here
knows exactly
in
what's
Head
going
House
on.
Square, and also we've seen them along South Street tonight. Residents say that's a good thing, but still some problems persist.
It's really shocking.
Howard Wool is talking about this warning some business owners say they received from the Society Hill Civic Association.
This is a nice neighborhood. They got nice people here, but I guess it can happen anywhere in the city.
Sure, stories can be told wherever, and they can be told to, or else.
The alert warns of 2 strong armed robberies in the last 2 days at this ATM at 2nd and Lombard. It also cites 2 alleged incidents on the 600 block of Addison Street Wednesday night at 11:30, and another on the 300 block of Pine Street at 12:10 a.m. yesterday.
This neighborhood is very exclusive houses and people, rich people here, and they rob them too. It's not good for business.
He's right. Big businesses are
And robbing
out.
too.
CVS in Head House Square is now vacant, and Wawa announced today that it's closing its Head House Square location on July 16th. In a statement, Wawa said it, quote, constantly conducts careful and extensive evaluations of business performance and operational challenges of all stores on an ongoing basis. Residents believe the closures may be due to crime and excessive panhandling.
A lot of the home, that butt.
Nope.
It's not
that
it's
butt.
like
It's not the
kids
butt.
on the bus.
Scorpion, Uranus is a
And
planet.
like the late night people.
Dana Sakharov lives a few doors away from Wawa.
Soccer
and says
Rob.
there
I
are
can't
all
wait to
sorts of
sock you,
problems.
Rob.
They come in there and they steal stuff. They even hired a security guard.
Because that collapse is like a kick in the gut.